Welcome to the Profitable NDIS Provider Podcast, where we're joined by your hosts, Tania Gomez and Paul Bryan. In each episode, we'll be sharing valuable insights and tips to help you turn your NDIS business into a profitable venture. So whether you're just starting out or looking to take your business to the next level, you've come to the right place. Let's stop surviving and start thriving.
G'day everybody and welcome to the Profitable NDIS Provider Podcast. My name is Paul and I'm here again with my favorite co-host and our last episode of this season, Tania Gomez. Tania, how are you doing today?
Yeah, it's really great to be here. It is our last episode for season 6, and that means it's our 70th or thereabouts episode. And it's really, really exciting. I never thought that we would get this far. I never thought people would still be listening to our podcast. But I must say that I get more and more people reaching out from the podcast every week. It seems to be hitting a bit of a peak. I did look at our stats the other day. I might try to find them while we're talking, but I believe our YouTube views are going really amazingly, something like 30,000 impressions or 30,000 views on YouTube, which is a kind of a new thing. So yeah, I'm really excited to be back here, excited to be wrapping up this season. And it's been an amazing season. We did 15 episodes in season 6. And there was a few key themes in there. We talked quite a lot about embracing change and all the regulatory shifts. Our favorite episodes, or some of my favorite episodes, included technology and innovation. What else did we talk about this season, Paul?
Oh, look, there's been so many changes happening and diving into that. We had a bundle of really cool ones around just some really keen support providers. And I got a lot of great feedback on the session we did with Josh, picks from Resolve around resolving the payment locks, because obviously that's a thing that's hit a lot of people. We had a fantastic session with Val from Via around, being in change and managing change as a leader. And I love that sort of space there. Yeah, we had some really cool ones this time, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think have been the biggest changes NDIS providers have faced so far this year? We're at July, so it's the beginning of a new financial year, but it's also 6 months into this year. How do you think our guests and discussions really hit those challenges?
Yeah, well, obviously we've just hit, new pricing guide and all the stuff that's going on around that and the changes around the registration requirements. It's been a massive time of change for providers. And I think that we've really focused on making sure that people are getting the information that is going to allow them to make their business what it needs to be. There's a lot of people, I think, who are still in this idea of, it will get better or it will get easier. But business really never does. It's always moving, it's always growing, it's always changing, as is the NDIS. And so I was actually really excited for those sessions that we've had, helping people get a refined plan on what they're going to do and having that as a resource. And I do keep hearing from people who are listening to the episodes as they're sort of, this is where I want to find out where I'm going to be heading, where I'm going to be focusing my efforts for taking our business to the next level, rather than really waiting for things to happen to them. Yeah. And I think it's a fantastic place for leaders to be, rather than waiting for things to happen, waiting for change to happen, leading that change in their organization or in their industry and being at the forefront of it. So with all of those changes and challenges, there's so much room for people to be leaders in this space.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is really what we're seeing is people are now stepping up and they're deciding, are they going to follow and be the same as their competitors, or are they actually going to lead the way? And I think that's the thing that I've always said about NDIS. It's not what's the opportunity, it's where do you start first, because there's literally an opportunity everywhere. And the people who are seeing all these changes as challenges is one mindset. But the people who are going to go far are the people who see all these changes as opportunities, whether that's opportunity for growth, opportunity for acquisition, opportunity to start fresh, opportunity to move into different markets. Wherever there is crisis, there's also an opportunity. And I think the finance sector is where we see this most, that most people sell all their shares when times are tough, but it's the people who are using that chance to buy low and to buy in those times are the people who do really well over the long term.
Yeah. I mean, I won't talk too much about my joy in purchasing a few things around the beginning of this year at the US election, a particularly low point. It was a delightful place to be. But you're 100% right. And that those challenges that come along really highlight the fact that as things get harder, less people do them, which just increases the opportunity for people to be able to come in and go, right, this is not easy, but it means that there's less people who are going to dive in and become an expert in this space and understand the needs and push through probably those first few barriers to then open it up and find the new opportunities that many people are just leaving on the back burner. I think a lot of those opportunities of how people have been embracing technology and how people have really been innovating in whether that's their service delivery or the process that they're using it. Tania, you get to talk to so many providers in different areas. How have you seen them using technology and innovation to reshape what's possible? And what should we be paying attention to over the next coming months?
Yeah, well, some really great examples. I mean, we spoke to Aaron from Marco Polo this season about Marco Polo being a house matching platform. And that's really been built out of how Aaron, as a SIL provider, seeing a need and developing this matching system as a way to solve a problem. That whole saying of necessity is the mother of invention. This whole idea that he couldn't find this solution, so he went and built it. I mean, that's a pretty extreme solution, or pretty extreme way of dealing with it and of using technology, actually becoming a tech company. But even I see quite often, AI is obviously being implemented more and more. And there's quite a number of AI solutions or tech solutions embedding AI within them inside the NDIS space that's making life easier for providers. So I did some videos and an online video series about NDIS registration, which is one of the things I'm most well known for. And I actually showed people how to use AI to do a self-assessment. And, most people pay a consultant, and most people come to me wanting me to do application for them. And instead of doing it for them, I direct them to the videos and say, hey, look, you can use AI and you can use tech to actually solve this problem, as opposed to paying a consultant thousands of dollars. And look, that does mean that people don't pay me to do their applications, but I actually think they do a better job when they do it themselves. And so I think AI and technology can in some ways make you a little bit lazy, because it can do a whole lot of the thinking for you. But to use it well and to actually embed it in your systems, there's a lot of thinking that goes into that actually makes you look at your systems and your processes a different way. So I see a lot of AI adaptation through documentation, through policies, and I've started to see people use it in really smart ways to customize their documentation to be more what they need. So, most people buy off-the-shelf documents, policies and procedures that are not made for them. They're made for everyone in the core module, or everyone that does, implementing restrictive practices. And a lot of that stuff needs to be in there. But I had a great example this morning of someone who had used AI instead of, they're a pretty small business, but they do community access, and they do group activities, and they do a little bit of SIL. Like, they have one SIL house they're just starting. And they realized really quickly that all of their documentation, especially their risk assessments, were just too complex. So they've spent a little bit of time prompting with ChatGPT to actually create different intake packs for each of their participant cohorts. So if you're a SIL provider, you've got a different intake pack than your community access, and a different intake pack than your your SIL participants or your group activity programs, so that they can do things like in their risk assessment for SIL, it's probably double the length than someone in community access. And it means that it's easier to complete, but they've also used some pretty interesting logic and questions. So in their initial conversation, they're asking more questions up front, which allows them to catch the information sooner and use that to actually populate some of the risk assessments later on and the support plans. And so I'm really excited to see this continue and use technology to do some of that hard lifting, to create more personalized, tailored documentation to make life easier, but more important, make the documents you're using in your NDIS business just more fit for purpose and more valuable. So it's not just a pass audit, but it's actually valuable for the support workers to read, for the companies to have. And I just don't think it's possible to do that in a cost-effective manner in the past, but now with tech, it definitely is possible to do. Some of the other tech stuff that you introduced me to, Paul, were those little recording devices, the Plaid. Is that how you say it? Plaid?
Paul? Yeah.
Yeah. And those little things I've introduced to quite a lot of my clients who just tell me constantly, I just can't keep meeting minutes. It just doesn't work for me. We just never update our continuous improvement register. And so I've suggested that they get that either on the pin or the one that sits on their table. And now they're taking it with them everywhere and having all their minutes transcribed, which just takes away one more thing they have to remember, but actually captures really important data for them in their business.
AI is really a tool. It's a force multiplier, right? Like it's like a screwdriver. It just gives you so much more access and so much more output. If you're running a race, you've only got so much effort, but if you put skates on, you're going so much faster than everybody else. And people that are utilizing AI are just jumping ahead so much further. And yes, we can do fun stuff like turn ourselves into Lego people and Muppets and that sort of thing. But it also allows us to really lead when it comes to the amount of output that we can produce at a really high level when it's used correctly. And so for anybody that is diving into that space, the more time you spend working with it and learning how to use it effectively, it's going to have an exponential output. It's going to make you operate at a higher level, and it's going to allow you to free up even some of your team and yourself to do those high-level tasks, because the meeting minutes are now automatically transcribed and sent to your system, so you don't have to do all that stuff manually, which just makes life so much better.
Yeah, totally agree. We also talked a lot this season about leadership and culture and resilience. Why is that more important than ever at the moment, Paul? And what are some of the things that you learned this season?
Well, we've seen some people step up in a massive way over the last couple of months. And, I think it's come from a lot of the changes that have happened. People have decided to be to lead in certain areas, and business owners themselves have decided that they really need to step up and not just be a business owner, but lead their space, lead their area. We saw an amazing thing that happened with the petition, with over 50,000 signatures come up around the price guide, and Tania, yourself and some amazing people have led that charge so brilliantly. And I think that is a testament to the fact that people are realizing that you just can't sit back anymore. It's not a place, it's not an industry where you can sit back as an industry. It's not a place where you can sit back as a business owner. And even I've seen something really interesting where I've seen people inside businesses, whether they be general managers, operations managers, development managers, who are actually leading in their own space as well, and not just sitting back and allowing things to happen, but actually taking those steps themselves, being proactive in the space. It's not just about the next client. It's about making solid change in the business and the industry, which I think is only beneficial for the industry as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been really interesting to watch the amount of people have actually have a say in things and use their voice more, and realize that actually, like we had so many comments from people when we started the petition saying a petition is not going to do anything. It's not even a parliamentary petition. And it's like, well, actually Parliament is closed at the moment, so we can't do a parliamentary petition, or we would have, and we might still, but we just need to make some noise, and people just need to see progress, and we just need to show people that somebody's listening to them and they're not alone. You're not alone. Other people are having the same issue as you. And I think that alone, people coming together, people rallying together, people seeing other people supporting them, actually just shows that the government's made a bad decision. And we actually have had quite a lot of ministers and MPs actually take the issue. And so, Parliament doesn't come back. The first sitting week is I think the 22nd of July is the first sitting week of Parliament. And we're told it's going to be raised, and we're told we're going to have some progress. But even if we don't, at least everyone coming together makes people feel united. And the opposite of that is people feeling like they have to compete with each other. So I would way prefer to bring people together to voice their issues together than feel like they have to focus on stealing the provider down the road's participants by standing outside their office as they're leaving and, offering them a free TV, which is actually things that I've heard happening.
It's actually happening. 100%.
Yeah. So what have we got in store for season 7, Paul? Why should people keep listening to us?
That's a really good question. I often ask myself is, why are people listening to us? But you know what? This has turned into something that I don't think, well, obviously neither of us expected it to go how it did. And I think we've talked to so many people in this space. We're getting so much out of it. But I think, we'd love to really hear from the industry as much as possible. And next season, I'm really looking forward to chatting with more providers and seeing how they are utilizing some of the tools we've talked about. How are they actually implementing AI? How are people working with the home care rollout? What are those people that are really excelling in team culture and technology? Actually hearing real world stories from people that are in the trenches, doing the work and having the experience and taking those little bits and not just going, oh, I'll try that and maybe it works or it doesn't work, but utilizing the tools and making them their own, being creative. And again, finding those opportunities in the struggles as well.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think one of my favorite episodes we ever did, I think maybe was season 3, and we had a whole lot of cell providers, and we did a panel of maybe 5 cell providers, and it was a bit chaotic, and maybe we didn't manage it very well. I think I remember leaving that one feeling stressed. But whenever I hear it and listen back, that's one of the episodes that I get the most feedback on is, wow, that actually made me really think twice about going into cell, or that gave me a lot of insights into what that actually looks like. So I think the more stories we can share, the better it is for everyone. I did do a little bit of research recently around our most popular episodes ever.
Oh, yeah.
This is on YouTube only. I didn't, because we have it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and Podbean. I didn't pull them from all of them. I just had a look through YouTube, which, as I said earlier, has kind of gained some momentum. But our most popular episode of all time is actually Staying Unregistered.
Wow.
The episode we did in season 1 with Kaz around her story about should you stay unregistered or not. Which is interesting. Obviously, there's 200,000 unregistered providers out there listening.
Yep.
And the second one was SIL, ILO, MTA, STA Explained. What do these acronyms all mean? So that has had 3,000 views, and Staying Unregistered was just over, I think it was 3,500 or something like that. So yeah, interesting to see. And it's interesting to see the ones that have had the least interest as well, where some that I think are amazing. So maybe either our little images on YouTube aren't good for those ones, or maybe our titles aren't clickbaity enough. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting to see that the ones that are the most popular are about should I register or not. And I guess with the changes coming up, that's still conversations people are having every day.
Yeah. And, I'm hearing more about people who are considering, obviously there are businesses that are shutting down, but I'm hearing more people who are talking about, wouldn't it be great if I didn't have to go through all of that, but I could still provide supports? And people are talking about mergers. They're talking about acquisitions. They're talking about amalgamating businesses together. There are people coming out with some really creative solutions that just bring a new vibe to how businesses are operating, what they're thinking about. And so it's not just a matter of, if I don't want to be registered as a SIL provider, I have to shut down. There are actually solutions, which is fantastic, and people are actually coming together. Again, I think a lot of this stuff that's been happening has helped providers actually go, we're sharing some of these issues, let's actually work on them rather than just keep trying to compete with each other all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. And I think I've said absolutely about 5 times during this episode today. So I think absolutely
that is episode 1,
making a comeback.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, I'm really looking forward to season 7. We're going to have a couple of weeks off, and we will be launching again, I believe, at the end of August. I believe we're going to have some time off, and we'll be back for season 7, which will take us till the end of this year. And really excited to come back. So yeah, thanks Paul for continuing this journey with me, and everyone else for listening. We don't say it often, but if you can subscribe, share it with a friend, it really does help us. It helps us in those moments where we can't see any value and we're not sure if we're talking to anyone but ourselves. And please keep reaching out and tell us what you like and what you don't like, because we're really doing this for everybody else. We're doing this for you. We're doing this to share information that we have, and would really love to make sure it's as valuable for you as possible. So please send us a message on LinkedIn or Instagram or any of the other platforms. Let us know what you're loving. Let us know what you're not loving. We love to hear from everybody. It keeps us going. And yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, it's so good being here, chatting with you, Tania. And, from what we hear, actually helping some people as well is just a massive bonus. So yes, please reach out, drop a comment on the YouTube video, say hi, let us know what we can improve. If you want a better thumbnail or more clickbaity handle, we'll work on that too.
Great. We'll see you back for season 7 really soon.
See you then. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Profitable NDIS Provider Podcast with Tania Gomez and Paul Bryan. We hope you found today's episode informative and valuable. If you enjoyed the show, please don't forget to subscribe, leave us a rating, and share it with others who could benefit from our insights. Until next time, keep thriving.